Hi, I'm Claire and this is my husband Nick. We met in an online chat room in 2001 and ended up getting married in 2006. We're a fairly normal, hard-working couple. We love travelling and enjoying a drink or two. In early 2020, we decided we wanted a whole new life-changing challenge. So we said goodbye to our jobs. We sold our Wiltshire farmhouse. We packed up our things and made the move to France. In early 2001, I went back to the UK to finalise our house sale and pick up my Aga. I was on Facebook on an Escape to the Chateau fan club page when I saw this advert. I messaged Nick the advert. Curiosity got the better of him and he went and arranged a viewing. With the instructions from me, I trust your judgment. If you think I'll like it, put in an offer. The offer was accepted and we finally got the keys on the 10th of June 2021. Join us and our dogs, Merlot and Flora, as we renovate our Maison de Maitre. It's Sunday. I normally don't get Sundays off, so this is actually quite special. It's also British Mother's Day today. We decided to go to the coast and take my mother dearest out for lunch. And we have Flora with us in the back, who is currently on heat. We've left Merlot behind because he's getting a little excited, to say the least. So yeah, it's really lovely. It's 19 degrees and it's about 12:30. I just had a lovely lunch with Mother and Father Dawson at St. Palais-Humain at Shebob. And now Nick is just taking Flora for a lovely little toddle about. This Sunday off thing is quite unusual. It's quite nice though.
Okay, so the shower tray we put down, that's now set rock hard, so I'm happy with that. So I've been carrying on working in here, finishing panelling, well almost finishing, got a little bit to do in the corner there, and started to build the enormous height stud wall here. Quite thick timbers, which are nearly straight. As is wood that you get nowadays, expensive and wonky, but there we go. So yeah, it's going to be rock solid. It's not going to go anywhere. Nice firm base to screw more of these panels onto. So I'm going to carry on building this and then get this side of it faced, and then I need to think about what I'm doing down the end here, build some more boxing down here. So yeah, making progress. It's nice that things are starting to be built rather than just destroyed. So happy days. Well, before I box in the end of the shower on the ground floor, I need to get everything running up within the boxing that I need to. I've already got the saw pipe, put the poke out there. Now I'm just getting hot and cold feeds for what will become this ensuite down through the floor. So I'll just take you down and show you where they're coming out. Can't take you through here because I've just boxed it off. Let's go through this way. So this is the downstairs bathroom, and you can see how much more I've now panelled in and boxing at the end. There'll be a little shelf there, and there's the hot and the cold. So I need to get those down within that boxing, down through the floor to the cellar where I'll connect onto everything. So I'm making progress. I've now finished doing the boxing in with the panelling that I'll be tiling over. Today I had a little bit of wallpaper left over there that I'd originally thought I was going to box in, but I decided not to. And I've fitted plasterboard to fill in across the top. So this room is separate from the cloakroom entirely. So there we go.
It's a lovely sunny afternoon, but today I'm inside. I am in our bedroom and I've turned a quiet little corner of our bedroom into a makeshift office for the day because I am doing my French version of what would be a food hygiene certificate. In France, it's called HACCP. In English, it would be a food hygiene certificate. And I'm inside for most of today, in front of the laptop, doing this course. It's a course that basically you need if you're running anything like a restaurant or a B&B or a chambre d'hôte. I think it's also good for basically if you are in the catering industry like I am. So I'm just kind of cracking on and doing it really. So I'm in here for today, and then next week I've got another whole day of in here, and then I believe I have to write a big long piece of literature, and then I'll see if I pass the test. Again, in England it would be like a multiple choice questionnaire, so this is all a bit different, but I'm getting there.
Working on the downstairs cloakroom today, trying to get it a bit more advanced. I've now got in place all the electric and water pipes that will be disappearing into other rooms and coming into this room. So now the job is to face this wall that I built with a sheet of plywood. I'm having one of those days where it's 2 steps forward and 1 or even 2 steps back. I got all the plywood cut to size, and the first problem was I couldn't actually get it in the room around the right way. So I had to be kind of crafty, and there is a corner down there where the water is coming into the room for the basin that's going in the corner, and I cut that off, and that's the only way I could get this sheet of plywood in. So I got it in the room around the right way, and I thought, great, so I'll start screwing it to the wall. So I screwed it all to the wall, and then remembered I wanted to put insulation in the wall to soundproof between here and the ensuite. Great, so I've just had to take all the screws off again. So I've got the sheet of plywood, which is now loose. It's a bit tricky in here because, well, I think the phrase is something like, not enough room to swing a cat. Oh, I've got a cat. Got a couple of dogs, but they wouldn't appreciate it either. Anyway, I've just pulled this forward, so I'll now be able to get the insulation tucked down behind it, and then I'll be able to put that back on and work my way up the wall. Above this sheet of plywood, we're going to have plasterboard, but this is going to be as wood, and I'm making some panelling for it, so we'll see how well that works out. There, so I've started to shove in the insulation. Just need to sort out around that pipe, and now I'll be able to get the sheet of plywood back on. It's amazing the difference a sharp saw blade makes. That last cut went quite all right, and didn't fill the room with smoke either, which was quite nice. So just cutting more bits of wood to continue around the room. I've only done one wall so far. So yeah, got a few more bits to cut up and then I can get them fitted and see how I'm getting on. Well, I've made reasonable progress here in the cloakroom. Got the initial bits of panelling on 3, in fact 4 walls, because I've got some on there that's been glued on, just drying. I'll come back in the morning and then be able to put another panel across there. I do plan to put sort of decorative trim and things like that on it in due course, but this is just the initial panelling, which is covering electric. Water's coming out through there. Electric there. We talked about that little corner. Basin, hot and cold and waste will be there. There's some electric going to a bedroom next door. So yeah, I made reasonable progress today. And then I may need to get plasterboard somehow in the room and up there. And not forgetting insulation this time.
It's now about 5 o'clock and I've finished my first day of HACCP training. I'm really excited because I have my very good friend coming over on Thursday this week from the UK to stay for a week. But with being at work for the last 2 weeks, I've not really had a chance to get her room ready. So I kind of really best crack on. So just off of our bedroom, there's a connecting bedroom, which is good because it's downstairs and it's right next to the bathroom. And I use this room as my kind of like wardrobe dressing area. But with time constraints and with work and kind of just day-to-day stuff, it's turned into a floordrobe rather than a wardrobe. I'm not going to lie, it's a mess. I really need to get it clean. I could do with getting it aired out a bit as well because it's a little bit musty. There's a lot of damp in the charente that then turns into mould and it sticks to things like handbags and furniture. After a night of dismantling the floordrobe that was behind me, we now have a guest room for my lovely friend to stay in. Yay! I wouldn't mind staying in here. Fair enough, it's not the most plushest of rooms at the moment. And I think that the original plug sockets in the room are probably post-war. The one thing that I really do love about this room is the suite of furniture that the previous owner left us and how it's all carved and it's got this lovely mother of pearl inlay. And I love how the wardrobe matches as well. And it's still got all of the keys. It's just such a nice wardrobe.
Knee clue, knee viz, extra forward and rapid. That's meant to be a stick on anything kind of product, which, well, it's stuck to the wood. It's not even gone completely hard. That's overnight. So that bit of wood and this bit of wood here haven't stuck to the wall as I had hoped. So that's quite annoying. I will have a go at well, I'll have to screw them up onto the wall. I didn't want to do that because as we know how thin the walls are, I didn't want to run the risk of damaging the panelling on the outside here, but I'm going to be very careful. I'm going to drill some holes to fit this wood back up. I've got to do it, otherwise, well, it won't work otherwise, will it? So, right, that's all the panels along the wall now fitted. As you can see, I have a blue and red pipe poking out through this side, that'll be for the basin, and a blue pipe poking out through that side. Right, well, I've got the pipes connected just with the outlets there. I've got little chrome covers to go on to make it look pretty, and then the taps will connect onto there and the toilet feed at the other end. So I've done that. Next job is to get plasterboard up on the wall. I've been putting some insulation in the wall. It's an internal wall, so the insulation side of it isn't that important. It's more for the soundproofing between the cloakroom here and the ensuite. The keen-eyed ones amongst you might notice that there's two different colours. That's because they're two different makes. I had one lot left over from when I did the bath for Claire when she went away. But I knew I needed more, and when I was at the shop they didn't have the original one. They had this other one. Don't know which is best. They're just different brands. Anyway, it'll all be behind plasterboard, so it won't be seen. Thermal properties aren't that important, it's more the acoustic properties. But all of that plus 2 layers of plasterboard and tiles and things, you shouldn't hear a lot of noise coming through that wall. So, talking of plasterboard, yeah, next job is to get a sheet of plasterboard up on the wall. It's going to take 1.5 sheets to do that. Well, that's the first challenge. I've got the sheet of plasterboard cut to the right height and put it in the room. Now all I've got to do is get it up on the wall, screw it so it doesn't come down. We do have a plasterboard lifter, but I don't think this room is big enough for it to fit into. My helper is at work, so it's me, myself and I. Happy days. This is the face of somebody who's quite pleased with himself, because I have now put plasterboard all the way up to my high ceiling up there, all on my own, and it feels quite solid. It's not going to fall off. Actually, there we go, in the cloakroom.
So this afternoon I am driving to a place called Saint-Denis, which is over near to where my parents live, and I'm going to go and help out at a local school where I go and assess French children who are sitting their English oral exams. So I'm one of the examiners for that today. I've done this before, and I go there and I see my friend Donna, who used to take French lessons with Nick, and I go and occasionally help out at this school, so I'm just on my way there now. I did do this last week as well, and it's actually quite good fun, and it kind of feels like you're actually giving something and helping, and yeah, it's quite nice. On my way home, I've just had a message saying, can you stop and pick up more grout? Oh, disorganisation, Nick Butcher. Disorganisation. And since I'm in a bricolage shop, I've just stopped by the toilet section just to check all of the seat lids are down. Good job, someone. I'm now on my way home from a lovely afternoon of being in the school with Donna. Today I had 6 pupils that were all doing their English oral exams, and today's topics that they had to talk to me about was all about the pandemic. Some of them were really good, some of them did struggle a bit, bless them, but they all did really well. And yeah, I'm just on my way home now. I've been and got the grout, been and done a bit of shopping at Lidl. Yeah, it's actually quite nice, it's sunny. It's about 7 o'clock in the evening, and I'm stood outside in the middle of the main street of Chagnon where we live, and I thought I'd come outside and tell you about a little discovery that I made a few weeks ago that I've not shared with you yet because I've just not really had the time, unfortunately. I've been rooting through the internet trying to find things on the history of our house. We have asked the old owner if he could give us a history of it, and I think he will do when he's got time himself. Rooting through, having a look at different things. I've not managed to find a full picture of our house, but I have managed to find a part picture of our house. I don't know what year it's from, but I thought I'd come out here and I thought I would show you the road and show you the postcard that I've managed to find. So just bear in mind here that I am stood in the middle of the road. So here is the postcard that I managed to find on the internet. Now, obviously, in the top left-hand corner, it says Chagnon. You can see our house up here. Unfortunately, the postcard doesn't have a year on it, so I don't know what year it was taken. But if you look really closely, you can see that there's pine trees, 2 pine trees behind our house in the background, and also right on the top of the roof there's also a skylight that would be above the stairs, but obviously where the house has been re-roofed over the years, it's not there anymore. There we go. So a little bit of history there. I'll make sure that I take a picture of both and I will put them on our blog. And if you want to have a look at our blog, it's www.theexpatbutchers.com. And I will keep hunting everywhere on the internet until I actually find a picture of the front of the building. It may be a month, it may be a year, it may be several years, but I will keep trying to find an old picture of the front of our house. But in the meantime, how cool.
So I'm in the ensuite downstairs room at the moment, and I've just started to tape and joint the plasterboard, which is that green stuff at the top of the room there. So all the blobby stuff, that's where I've put on this glue, and then put paper tape up it, and then more glue. Once that's gone off, do another coat, and then if need be can sand it down, and it'll be ready for painting. So that's what all of that stuff is on that side. So I've done there, and then if I go around to the cloakroom, I've got to do in here. So for example, that joint up there needs to be jointed. Not much to do, but once it's done, it's done. So there's lots, if you want to know how to do it properly, there's thousands of videos on YouTube explaining how to do it. One thing they didn't sort of explain was that you should put it all over your hands and top. They didn't seem to do that in the videos, but it's actually a very important part of the process. The tiling has started. So these are the tiles that Claire has chosen for this room. They're quite nice actually, I like them. They're not particularly flat. They have a bit of a shape to them. A rustic look, we'll call it that. We'll see how well they go up on the wall. Certainly that row is looking okay. Going to be a bit fiddly around this side. But it's getting on in the evening now, and I wanted to just get that first row done so that then I can take out that batten in the morning and do underneath it, and then I've got a nice row to start going up the wall with, and well, we have a few square meters to do. But yeah, it's starting.
So for me to be able to tell you the next thing I've found, I thought I'd come outside and just do a little explanation first. Obviously the buildings behind me over the years, it's been a distillery, a winemaker, a cognac producer, and over at the other side of the house that we live in. So this here is the side of the house that we're currently living in, the side that's a bit dated but it's habitable. Now we know that over here in this room here, this used to be a sausage producer's area, and I think that this used to be where all the butchery happened and where all of the sales happened. And we think that where my car is parked, that could have been the abattoir area in years gone by. And obviously through those doors there's a set of pig pens. Now obviously, we knew before we moved in that this part had been used for making sausages, and we'd also found quite a lot of things that point to the fact that at some point it was owned by somebody who was a butcher and made sausages. In one of the outbuildings when we were going through it, we found this wooden tub. It's not very exciting. I'm hoping to use it for something as a project in the future. It's basically a tub of a preservative, I think, that you would add to sausages, ferment selections for the maturation of meat. And it's obviously for sausages. And upon closer inspection, I've just actually seen that this tub is from 1935. This is also something great that was left behind, that was actually in the sausage factory room, which is a massive set of old butcher scales. And if you've ever seen a French movie called Delicatessen, I think that this is actually the same pair of scales. Unfortunately, they left the scales, but they didn't leave any of the weights behind. And we did find a load of these advertising boards out in one of the barns as well. They're all the same, and some of them have even still got the original tissue paper separating them. See the types of sausages that he sold and pâtés. A while ago, I managed to find something on the internet that basically said some of the history about the sausage factory, but for some reason it's disappeared since. I don't know. You took it away from me, Google. Anyway, I know that production stopped at the sausage factory in 1939, so as that the owner was obviously against feeding the occupation of the Nazis, which, fair enough, wouldn't want to feed them, so he stopped production. I don't know when he resumed production. He must have done at some point. In the meantime, I managed to find... It may not look like much, but this is actually an original document from the old owner of the house, Paul Richard. And this is an original price list for the sausages that were sold in the sausage factory from 1937. Isn't that just amazing? Extra quality. There we go. Again, I'll pop a picture of that and all of the different bits onto our website for everyone to have a look at. And it will eventually be framed, and it will probably go on the wall of the sausage factory when it eventually in the future gets turned back into a kitchen. Hi.
And welcome to Wine of the Week.
Yay!
This week we're drinking a Castrel wine, which is from a region down in the south of France, between Carcassonne and Perpignan. and it's a 2019 feature, so if you could get that underway, please, dear.
Yes, of course. So we've done we've made some interesting discoveries that we shared with you this week about the history of the house, and you've started on the tiling. So
I have, making progress. Been a good week. The weather's gone cold again, and last night we actually had a bit of sleet, which was a bit disturbing, given now that we're into April, but let's hope it goes back to being warm again.
My friend has arrived. I do have a slight hangover. I will not lie.
Yes, we went to a bar called Rum Runners last night after dinner, and on the back of the bar they have different flavoured rums, and you two were trying all of them.
I think you know it's going bad when you say the words, "I'll have another Jägermeister."
I was driving, so my head's absolutely fine this morning.
Well, you know what they say, hair of the dog.
Anyway, thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed it, please hit the like button.
And hit the
And hit the subscribe button if you haven't done that already, is what Claire was trying to say.
Exactly.
Her mouth's not working.
You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, and you can look up the blog section on our website at
www.theexpatbutchers.com.
Hey!
Anyway,
Cheers.
cheers. Ignore the face, that's a hungover face. Mine actually got a lovely bouquet to it.
It does smell very nice, just,
Ooh. That is very nice. Well, I'm going to enjoy that.
I will in a few hours, and maybe after a can of iron brew.
Anyway, we'll see how this week goes, and see you next week.
See you next week. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.